Welcome back. We're on to topic number 3, finances. One of the most divisive topics, or just things that can make your marriage go sideways. So today we're just going to kind of intro finances on kind of a high level 30,000 foot level, and then you'll have an opportunity to dig deeper into the book. The book has a lot of great scripture, a lot of great not worksheets, but just questions on how you spend your money as a married couple. So with that, I'll just turn it over to Christina.
Yeah, so when we think about finances, we need to come back to that conversation of oneness. And you probably had spending habits before you got married.
I had spending habits.
Yep. And you also knew the spending habits of your family. And so you likely carried those things into your marriage life as well. So you need to, and maybe some of you guys have done this stuff already, but one of the things is is your finances in oneness? Literally, we were joking yesterday. I had pulled out my IRA and it has my name on it. And I was like, hey, did you see how much money is in my IRA? And what did you say?
That's mine too.
He goes, that's mine too. And I went, wait, I said, my name is on it. And we were just joking. And he's like, no, that's our money. And I knew it's our money. I was playing, I was just being kind of goofy and saying, no, that's my money. That's my IRA. But I know it's ours. But do you know that? Do you know that in your marriage that, yes, it may have your name on it, but do you see it as yours? Is it united? Do you have united checking accounts, savings accounts, things like that? Are you guys all united in finances? Or is there some things where you don't know if you're united? Maybe you're not even united in decisions of what you buy, where someone just goes and spends and you're like, I didn't know that we were gonna do that, or I didn't know that we were agreeing on spending that much money. So are you united in decisions? And some of the things that break marriages apart in regards to finance is that conversation of, well, what should we spend and what should we save? What should we tithe? Where should our money be going and what's top priority? Should we be investing in college's funds, or should we be saving and redoing things on our house? And you can have very different opinions on what you should be doing with your money. And that can be very divisive at times.
Yeah. And each one of us, obviously we're in different stages of our marriage. We all have different jobs, we have different incomes, different expenses, right? And it's there was a time early on in Christina's and I marriage where we were living paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. And that can be really stressful, right, on a marriage. The husband has to provide, or the wife is working 2 jobs to help provide for the family. Those are all stresses, especially if you have kids, and do you have enough money to put food on the table, so on and so forth. So and we know, we've been there, and it can be very, like I said, divisive and drive a wedge in between you and your spouse. And money is the root of all evil, right? So but it all goes back to that one flesh deal. In Genesis, what we talk about in God's purpose is 2 will become one. And that's not just physically, but it's also emotionally, it's also financially, spiritually, so on and so forth. It is that oneness. It is making those decisions together. And if you're able to do that and and be on the same page with your finances, it'll just make your marriage so much, not easier, but just, what do you want to say?
It just goes more smoothly, for one. And you're kind of seeing a theme in some of these. We said it in the God's purpose and also in communication, is selfishness gets into it really bad, right? Well, I deserve this. I should be able to buy this. I earn this. I should be able to do that. And even in regards to work, we were talking about this, some people could have jobs where you're working really, really long hours because that's your duty, providing for the family or whatever it may be. But is that really the goal of your family, is to be working such long hours that you're not spending time with your family, you're not seeing your wife? I remember days where Mike would be working such long hours, and we made some changes as a family unit because I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do these really long hours. You don't see the kids, you're gone when they wake up and they're in sleep when you get home. Something has to give where we have more time as a family, and what is that going to be and what is that going to look like? And along the way, there's been job changes that has now moved us into a position where he does have more time with our family. And we sought those out because we're like, this isn't the way that we want to live our family unit. And so even with finances, it might be deciding, job changes or what needs to go or what spending needs to go, so that you are living out your purpose in marriage and your purpose in your family unit.
Yeah. So as you go through the book, obviously pray with one another on this topic. Like I said, it is one of the most divisive topics, and as you discuss it, there might be some arguments or some disagreements, right? But that's okay. At least we're talking about it. But pray with God that He'll work through those problems and you'll come out with a resolution.
Yeah.
So just one last thing is, obviously there's some material in here that you're able to do with one another, but the church always has good resources on financial.
And there's people within our church body who have done like financial peace and things like that. We have those things available within the church. If you're wondering like, how do I do a budget? I've never done one. We've talked about it, never done it. I don't know how to wean down my debt. There are people, if you reach out to the church body and just say, hey, I want help with money management. I want to know how to get out of debt within my marriage, or even if you're single too, if you know a single friend who wants to get out of debt. The church has resources that they can help you do that. And so we hope that you will reach out, because we want to use those tools. We want to support you guys in your finances.